Hey guys, Steve Zonardo here in our monthly videos. It's the month of February. There's just a quick story I heard just recently with new build construction and what's currently happening right now, especially here in Toronto. So what's happening is when you purchase a new build construction home, like a freehold home, you have to send in a letter of approval or a commitment letter from the bank that you've been approved on the mortgage. So what happens is the builder accepts your deal because you're approved on the mortgage and you accepted their terms. Now you just got to sit tight and wait for closing. So remember, when these properties are sold, let's say properties are going to be closing this year, but they were sold in 2020 because our amazing Canadian restrictions on building and how long it takes to get to ground. But so it's 2 years of let's say holding these properties. So when you're selling a property for like $400,000 or $500,000, 2 years ago, and now it's $750,000 to $800,000. Builders thinking, holy shit, we really undersold these things. We never predicted the market to take off. No one would have, right? So if they're selling 150 houses, let's say 100 houses rather, because it's easy math, and it's an additional $250,000 to $300,000. I mean, do the math, how much more money they're going to be putting away just on the same product if they resold them. So what's happening now is the builders are looking into the files and seeing who's fraud. And I talked to someone that's involved in this build. I'm not going to name any names, but ultimately, what's currently happening? They've created a fraud department within the builder. So let's just say they sold 150 houses, and let's say there was 60 of the buyers. 60 of the buyers were with the A banks, basically. So the big six, right? RBC, TD, Scotia, like the big six banks, right? 30 of those, which is 50% of those buyers, were fraudulent. So literally what's currently happening is they were basically copying commitment letters from the bank. So if TD gave you a commitment letter, they just basically copied and pasted on 30 other buyers. And that's currently what happened now. So what's going to happen to these buyers since they committed fraud? The builder is going to pull back these deals and ultimately resell them at today's market value, which is, if it's a great business decision on their end. Obviously, they weren't being truthful with the submission of these offers to begin with. So do they deserve it? You know what? They caused it, because there may have been someone in line that would have bought that property straight up and actually lived in the house, opposed to like this huge investor, because these are not people that are going to live in the houses. This is all second, third, fourth property owners, right? People that are just doing investment properties are going to rent them. So they've taken this inventory away from someone that needs to, live and raise a family in these communities. So if you look at that, do they deserve to lose the house? Maybe, maybe not. Obviously, they committed fraud going into it, but now the builder has a great opportunity to renege the deal, pull back the property, relist it at today's market value, and make a shitload of money. So they're looking at the A banks, and then they're going to get into the B banks, because if there was fraud with the A banks, there's going to be fraud with the B banks too. So again, if there's more fraud, the builder will take back more inventory and sell it at today's market value, and ultimately make more profit on the site without, going through another subdivision and putting pipes in the ground and building houses. This is like, it's a good deal for the builder. Obviously, people may not think it's fair, but if you've committed fraud, it is what it is. So that's just a quick story, and I see that happening everywhere. And even with houses, like we sell in resale, we know sometimes there's certain communities that come out, and you got to be aware, because a lot of it's fraudulent. They're always producing like fake paperwork and stuff like that to get deals done, or you have to extend closing. I had a deal like this. It happened in Brampton last year, rather, and the same thing. We had to extend closing like 2-3 weeks. We couldn't get the money, couldn't get the closing. You had to, get 3 to 4 different appraisals. It was a sort of a nightmare. But again, this is probably because of fraudulent paperwork. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this information. If you have any questions, please leave comments, send direct messages, and if you like the videos, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll get you on the next one. Thank you.